The first two officially licensed Formula One games for the original PlayStation are bona fide classics that still get revisited to this day. So, what the f happened with this shit then? Together, Psygnosis and Bizarre Creations were like Williams and Renault, McLaren and Mercedes, Adrian Newey and a wind tunnel. A winning combination. Both Formula 1 and Formula 197 set the standard for Formula 1 games on consoles, adored by fans and critics alike. Despite that success, after 2 games, Bizarre Creations called it quits, meaning Psygnosis had to find a new development team for 1998. Initially, it was offered to Reflections Interactive, who'd already had PlayStation success with their Destruction Derby games, which incidentally Psygnosis published. However, Reflections turned down the offer to focus on their upcoming release, Driver. Reflections Interactive really did just make classics for fun in the 90s. What an output! In the end, the project went to Visual Science, a much less established company by comparison. They were founded in 1993 by Russell Kay, who was one of the main programmers of the iconic video game Lemmings. You know, Lemmings, that game where unless you intervened, a group of creatures would unnervingly leap to their collective doom. The warning signs were there, weren't they? By the time Psygnosis had Visual Science on board, time had progressed to the point where it would have been quite a rush to actually get the game done before the end of the 98 season. So the smartest thing to do and the most sensible thing to do would be just to reskin Formula 197, and it would just give them the time and the space to focus on Formula 199 instead. Which is why Visual Science decided to completely disregard everything that Bizarre Creations had made and build an entirely new game from scratch. Lemmings. Yes, with the exception of some menus and the sound effects, Visual Science decided to make a whole new game against the clock. I can only theorise as to why they made this decision. Maybe it's because at the time they were an unproven studio, so with a lot of eyes on this platinum series, they could have seen this as their time to shine and prove themselves. Alternatively, maybe there were some F1 aficionados on the team who would have known that the 98 season had seen one of the biggest technical shake-ups in years, including the introduction of grooved tyres, so they would have made the case maybe that just reskinning the 97 cars wouldn't have delivered the proper experience that fans would have wanted of racing this new formula. Whatever the reason, they rushed out a game, its release coinciding with the final round of the 1998 season on November the 1st, which was late even back then. For comparison, the 97 game came out in September. The game still sold incredibly well, and it was a bestseller by Christmas, but reviews were poor and reception was cold from fans. Even as a 7-year-old, I remember playing it and going, this feels different. I wasn't able to kind of work out how, but I just knew it didn't feel the same. However, while the game was poorly received, the scores it got from publications weren't actually that bad for the most part. Sure, they were down on previous years, but they were mostly 6s and 7s. One retrospective review from the pixelempire.net theorised, did they fear Sony's wrath? A backlash from Psygnosis. It's still a good racer, many were in a rush to point out, even if it isn't a good Formula 1. More likely, they couldn't have believed that what they were playing was as bad as it seemed. So that begs the question, while it was a disappointment, and it's hard not to be when it's following 2 classics of the series, how bad was it really? There's only one way to find out. Yes, it's time to do what is going to be our traditional setup for revisiting a game for the first time. It's to get Jean Alesi in whatever car he's driving and take him to Silverstone. So it means we're going to be in the Red Bull Sauber for the first time. Oh crap. So we have manual gears, tyre wear, fuel consumption off, assists off, but damage is on. We've just got dry weather. It's going to be a 6-lap race when we get there. Going to do FP3, qualifying in the race, and just remind ourselves what we're in for. Our failures are off as well, because we're not messing with that this time around. Now the first thing that really strikes you when you start driving in this game is how awful the steering is. So I'm on analog at the minute, and it's got the sort of turning circle that F197 would give you when you had the D-pad on. It just doesn't like it at all. So I'm going to come up to Cops. Cops is the sort of corner that you need a dab of brake, and then you can just lift off and get through it quite flat.
That doesn't look too good. He's ended up right off the track.
You're right there, Murray. The turning circle is just awful. The only way to get around the corner is to use the brakes, and you think, well, yeah, that's how you do typically. When you brake in this game, it doesn't feel like the primary function is to slow the car down. What it's actually doing is almost giving you a turning boost. Like, look at how much it goes from not wanting to turn when you're either on or off throttle, and then as soon as you go on the brake, it just supercharges your turning. So I've lost the rear wing as well. Oh dear. When did I lose the rear wing? Just bear with me. Now the pit stuff is admittedly improved, so I can now do full setup changes in the pits, which is good, especially when you're practicing. As you can see, there is a nice pit crew animation this time as well. Although I do seem to be able to just speed directly out of the pits. So this is it. You come up to the corner, brake, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I have never driven a real Formula 1 car, so it's like, how do you know that's not what it's like? Most of the other games, the many other games that depict driving Formula 1 games, the ones directly before this, the ones directly after, even the modern games now that go back and depict this era of Formula 1, none of them feel like this. Pad, wheel or otherwise. And even if it's not realistic, you at least want it to feel like it could be realistic. And it doesn't even feel like that. It just feels like you have to drive it in the worst way possible. So while the handling is the biggest flaw, and it is a pretty big flaw, let's try and look for some positives. The graphics are a slight improvement, I would say, on 97. Not like leaps and bounds, but it looks alright. I actually kind of prefer this cockpit view as well, to be honest, because, let's be honest, the, like, melted hands and wheel situation was not good. Oh,
you're taking your nose cone off, you're going to have to come in for a new one.
There's the yellow flag being waved.
Oh wow, they've gone the opposite direction with the engineer, so instead of him being ridiculously loud, he sounds like he's talking through a tin can. Oh wow, I've really damaged something. He just doesn't want to turn that way. Okay, let's go forward. Forward. I mean, look, I love that. To be fair, that's pretty good, that I've clearly just damaged my steering rack to the point where only one wheel is turning. That's pretty good. Oh, come on. Why? Why is it just gone that way? Why? I want to go in the pits to get it fixed. Okay. Oh, for God's sake, man.
That's Alesi in for a pit
Oh, good lord. Let's just turn everything up, just as an experiment, to see how much this will turn. Oh, sorry. So, yes, you're making the changes. Oh, yes. What? So has it made the changes?
Go, but watch your speed.
They're bound to be pleased after that stop.
Go, but watch your speed. He says watch your speed. $100 in the pit, like, no, like... Slight oversight. Oh! I also find it so weird that it's not the bottom triggers that are the gears. It's the top ones and the bottom ones are the view, which is why I keep changing view every time I scramble for gears. So here we go, full downforce, and you can tell the car is struggling now to get up to top speed. That was still a struggle to get round that one. Yeah, it's not the setup, it's just an awful handling model. Ooh!
So far, the weather's held up well, but those rain clouds up there could change everything.
Well, it won't, Murray, because it's set to fine weather only, but I appreciate the drama. I mean, there are other little features they have improved around it.
Slam bang into the barriers. You'll really have to be careful from now on.
What I was going to say is it's nice that they've at least got all 3 practice sessions in, so you've got more time to tweak your setup. Obviously, you can now tweak it in session by going into the pits. So there's other improvements made. It's just hard to get over that big step back that is how it is to drive. Right. Let's see how we do. The AI are on their hardest difficulty, as always. Don't think I actually completed a full lap in that practice session then without doing something stupid. So this should be fun. So once again we have a timer for the full hour and 12 laps to set our times. I'm going to get a banker in and then we're going to go in the pits and see what our options are. Is it just we have to wait again? Or have they actually added time acceleration into qualifying? Oh my god, what was that? Oh my god, it's just so painful. Some of the nicest, fastest, flowing, sweeping corners in Formula 1, and this game has ruined them. It's just not fun to drive. It's just changing the sectors. It's not even giving me like an update of like how up or behind I am. It just seems to be skipping past them. Yeah, just literally flicks past the sector. It's like, I don't know how far up or down I am. Ooh, bloody hell. I mean, ironically, I took that better because I nearly slid off. I feel like literally the way you have to drive it is to drift your F1 car around the track. Like, this is awful. Like, this is terrible, but at the same time, I'm doing terribly. So I don't want to put all my anger onto the game if part of it is just me doing it badly. But I think part of the reason me doing it badly is because the game is also bad. Okay, so... oh. I'm just gonna drive through that arrows. Fine. Once again I can make some... Is that guy just sat there with like full throttle on? So there is an advanced time button. We can see the top 3. Oh, so okay, so I get options for how many minutes. Oh, this is good. Okay. So I could do... So we are now 23 minutes to go. And there we go. So 1 minute 26. Coulthard on pole from Schumacher and Hakkinen. Okay. So let's try and get ourselves up the grid a little bit better. I'm actually going to pause it. I'm going to see if I can get... Ah, good. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so we're now on X to accelerate, B to brake, and the D-pad. Let's see if this feels any better. The thing I hate about having the analog stick as your throttle and brake is you can't apply both at the same time, or very quickly. It's not the best way to do it, really. And honestly, driving on the D-pad just feels the same as the analog stick. It really does. It just feels as awkward with the turning circle. Let's see if we can do something. Now I'm not even getting like a comparison time anymore. Like, it's not going to bother. I'm that far off the pace. They're just like, oh, he doesn't need to see what the pole time is. He's not getting near it. Oh, dear me. Tokyo drifting it through Club and Vale.
Oh, but I don't think it'll be too long before the track's wet.
If it does start to rain, team tactics...
Stop saying it's going to rain. I've literally got it set to dry weather. Like, you can tell it was rushed. You can tell they've tried to add things in that are better, but you can just tell with certain little things, like it not showing the gap on the intervals, that they've just been like, quick, get it in there. It's in there, it's fine. They've just not had time to think about it. Ooh. Can I return to the pit? No, I can't return to the pit. It's still too early in F1 gaming history for that to be a development. I'm actually going to switch back to analog mode, because I feel like I was less still but less.
The rain stayed away so far, but I don't think it'll be too long before the track's wet.
If it does start to rain, team tactics will become the real decider in today's race.
I feel like I'm starting to speak its language, which is just forget everything you know about driving any other car you've ever driven, even fake Formula 1 cars, and just brake every 2 seconds. Right. I've had enough. Oh no. Also, what I love about this, another just thing they haven't thought about, is there's obviously a character limit to driver names. So some drivers have their full names, whereas Heinz-Harald can't fit that in. Too long. Giancarlo Fisichella, no chance. And then it's proven, because when you have to put in Jacques Villeneuve's name, because once again he's not in the game because he copyrighted his own name because he's a normal bloke, you can't fit it in. It's like one letter too short. You can have Jacques Villeneuve, just little things like that they've just not thought about it. And oh, it turns out that as the session progressed I got slower. I'm literally only faster than Ricardo Rosset. Amazing. Oh my lord. Oh my days. A full season of this. Okay, here we go. Oh, well, you come straight in. The lights go out. Oh my god, they're swerving. Remember, damage is on. And incredibly, I'm up. Why did he just stop? Oh my god, what is this? What's happening? Okay. So that is erratic. They are erratic. Oh my god. So I'd gone from 21st to like 12th until a Williams just stopped right in front of me. Can we let me restart? No. Oh yes, it will. Ah, okay, cool. Right, let's try again. Okay, we're off and running. What on earth is just... Like, this one car has literally turned across the track. Oh my god. Car's off the track. I mean, I appreciate the realism that cars will make mistakes on turn 1. Oh god, I just don't want to get anywhere near them. I just feel like they were all going to slam on. Stewart in front of us. Let's try and make an overtaking move. A bit of a defensive move there from Verstappen. Very characteristic. We managed to get past. Oh, there's just a full-on roadblock. What is... Oh, good lord. Menaces. They're all menaces. Oh, what? Sorry, was that Rossett in... So, we are 1.3 seconds behind Damon Hill after lap 1. We've gone from 21st to 10th. But now the field is spreading out a little bit. And obviously I wasn't particularly quick. Oh, so we duel with the Williams through Maggots and Beckett's. So obviously I'm able to take advantage of the fact that the AI just can't race wheel to wheel. So they just decide we're going to stop, basically. But as they spread out, I am now struggling to hold on to 10th from this Williams. Oh dear. Oh! And the young Canadian has just driven me straight off the road. Okay, let's try and get past Esteban Tuero. You remember what it was like throughout Formula 197, how hard it was to race wheel to wheel with that AI. Imagine missing that, and they've made it worse. Oh, Christ. So, thankfully, there are cars racing each other, which gives me the opportunity to try and catch up. Villeneuve is past one of the Jordans. God, it's just so awful. So could we maybe, through Maggots and Beckett's, get back into the top 10? Christ. Past one of the Jordans. Still trying to chase Villeneuve. Oh, bloody hell. Christ. Every collision is like, this is like a bit of a force field bump. It's like dodgems when you hit someone else. It's just mad. Oh. Once again into neutral. Amazing. Esteban. Oh no, it's all gone wrong on the start of the final lap. Oh no. It's genuinely quite awful. I'm not just having a go at the game. That was, yeah, I've effed up there. There's a top 10 on the table, and I've definitely let it slip. But my God, it feels like you have to slightly rewire your brain to play this game. Oh! Oh, now we're fighting just to not be last.
with good reliability in a cut.
The fuck is happening? What is happening? I've done what, mate? I'm lost, you So my options are restart race or new race. And I feel like there should be a button for get in the f***ing bin. I want to do a season on every one of these games. Every one. This one is going to be painful. And the thing is, there is still a part of me as well, as a completionist, that still wants to beat it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a chance that it could be a very entertaining season. It's mental, to be honest. As far as conventional good racing goes, I'm not sure. I'm going to pick another driver to get justice for, someone who is not Jean Alesi, someone who is not Olivier Panis, and they will be revealed very soon. I am actually going to start my second attempt of Formula 197 first and get that back on the road, and then after that's a few rounds in, we will kick back up with this. And what a season it will be. So to answer the question, Formula 198, was it really that bad? Yes. Yes. I think it was. But we will race on it very, very soon. God help us all. Tell me if you enjoyed this game. Did you actually have a soft spot for this? Was this your first ever F1 game? Did you actually enjoy playing Formula 198? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings. If you've got any tips, that'd be great too as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. We will be back on Formula 197 and coming to Formula 198 for a season very, very soon.